All right, friends. Welcome to the first quarterfinal. Oops, it says round of 16 here. Nobody saw it. 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 First quarterfinal here in Warlords 3. And the round of 16 in Warlords produced some really good sets. Obviously, MbL won his series, and then TaToH won his series as well. And so two, maybe of the biggest names in our scene, two players that have been around a very long time. I remember casting these guys 10 years ago. They are up against each other here. We've got MbL in the red, and then we've got TaToH here in the blue. Series starts off on Land Madness. And again, basic things you need to remember about Warlords. 9 villagers start. Things are a little bit faster here. And we'll have a bunch of mixed maps. So you're really going to need to be well-rounded as a player to win this best of 7. Especially with how strong both of these players are. Now, I consider TaToH to be the favorite in this series because of how well-rounded he is. And more recently, if you look at times that these two players have matched up against each other, TaToH has been able to get the better of MbL. But it hasn't been, like, incredibly convincing. And it's been about a year since they've had an S-tier matchup, which would be Warlords. Obviously, lots of prize pool. I think a little over $45,000 in the prize pool right now, thanks to Microsoft. And I think 50-50 split from donations from Mem's side, who's the host. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. So, Gurjaras, I think a pick for MbL because on this map, we typically see a lot of scouts and a lot of knights. All right? I'm going to immediately shout out my concern. You don't get pikemen with Gurjaras, right? So, yes, you have the camels, but what we do see quite frequently is it is a knight pike game, right? And so when it's knight pike, you could still group up some knights and you could still try and counterattack. You can maneuver away from any pikes, kill a vill or two, right? Or if pikes are in low numbers, you can use those knights and take big fights. Talk about a massive chunky woodline here for TaToH. What is this? What is this? How is he? That's a lot of wood. Anyways, so having said that, I think Castle Age is going to be, it's going to be possible for MbL to be defensive, at least with camels. But I find being aggressive and killing villagers in Castle Age a little bit more difficult with the Gurjaras. You do have a really good eco, though, starting with the berries underneath the TC, tossing the sheep inside the mill. And MbL is going to be just pushing in his last year here. It's definitely going to be a scout opening for these two. So, all right. So here's where it gets interesting. Live viewers, what unit is MbL known for making more of than any other pro player? We've got to talk about it. All right. Okay, someone says, a lot of people are saying skirms. Other people are saying spears. It's pretty much both. Skirm spears, okay? How many spears is he going to make with a civilization that doesn't get pikemen? I think you'll be surprised. I think we're going to see quite a few of those. But, you know, it's still fine. I mean, having... you know, quite a few spearmen now could be helpful in this game. It's not a bad thing to have if you think there's going to be scouts on the other side. So, anyways, TaToH shows up. Oh, look at that. Look at that reaction there. That was really close. He almost ran into the TC and also the camel from MbL. And now that they're in feudal, that camel would eat that scout. But the scout is a little bit faster. When TaToH shows up to see exactly what MbL is doing, what his base looks like, and he sees it's going to be scouts. TaToH is going to go spears for now, and he hasn't added a military building yet. Has to be the plan, though. And I think he just doesn't quite have the wood for a stable. Or maybe he just goes spear defense for the time being. I mean, if he knows MbL is going scouts, could just play defensive. MbL loves his forward spears. And here they come, baby. Here they come. He's got 3 spears already. And he's trying to make TaToH's life as awkward as possible. TaToH needs to get some walls down. And TaToH's scout kind of just chilling. A bit of a just passing moment there. And TaToH just quickly walls up his wood lines. Because he did go for 2 different lumber camps here. I am seeing a bit of... I'm seeing some minor things with TaToH. It's not even worth bringing it up. Stable was late. That could be fine. The big thing you think about with the Romans is their 5% efficiency bonus. So everything the Romans are doing economically is 5% more efficient, which means the villagers get 5% more stuck because pathing is horrible. So that, I mean, that's an idle villager right there for TaToH just simply because of MbL's aggression. That probably has, yeah, it has been fixed now. Farms are coming up for TaToH. Both players have their wood and farm upgrade, which is to be expected here. And TaToH's up to 5 spears. MbL's about to match his 5 spearmen. So that was something we talked about. But MbL has a spear in each vulnerable area. He's going to be completely fine against 2 TaToH scouts. And here he's just being chased down. Here he won't find much damage. And now MbL's gone for the range, which TaToH did see. That's critical here. MbL actually placed this in a position, I believe, where he's trying to hide this. So TaToH now, he might produce a couple more scouts here. Could go into skirmishers. And it's possible we'll see scouts and skirms here, but if the goal here is to have enough scouts to be able to engage against 1 or 2 spearmen and whatever archer numbers out there. So we've got a spear count of 6 for MbL now. Now, what MbL does a good job of in these situations is he makes it really difficult for the scout player to overwhelm with scouts because he makes so many freaking spears, right? So he just has so many. He doesn't have to hesitate. This is going to be a kill. Nice job from MbL to at least get a hit. And so here he comes, and MbL is just going to make it awkward here for TaToH. I think against MbL, you have to add the skirms. 2-0 KD right now. Nothing major. TaToH adding the range. And TaToH is going to have 6 scouts, and his first skirmer's on the way here. But that 1 archer and 2 spears is enough to win this entire fight here. And that's what MbL wants. This is... It doesn't seem significant, but it's really nice damage to have that archer in the group. TaToH trying his best to use his skirms against the archers. Actually, really good micro from TaToH. And he's got his scouts behind here. Has to be careful with the camel scout. And TaToH had the timing just perfect here, guys. Just so clean. So perfect with the timings. And now suddenly MbL's got to run back. And he's queuing up more spears. Don't want to say I called it. But he's queuing up more spears. Because those spears are going to go down. Again, like, kind of my concern is don't really have many upgrades with those spears long term, but you need them. Nonetheless, there's 17 farms for TaToH. Holy crap. MbL's about to be on 15. Still really good eco from him. Going Camel Scout is a really interesting idea. The reason you don't see people go Camel Scout here is because army numbers is the most important thing. And Camel Scouts take a long time to produce compared to a Scout. Now, if the spears start to get picked off, scouts from MbL are still going to be valuable. I think where you're going to see people opt for camel scouts... MbL did actually make a second one, by the way. I think where you're going to see people make camel scouts in Feudal Age is when they're on the way to Castle Age. That's a really valuable time for that. So we both players getting armor on their spearmen right now. Romans get the double armor. And here... you have some spears around for TaToH, but MbL killing that with the 2 camels in the scout. This will be awkward for TaToH to take his gold. It'll be awkward for MbL to take his gold. Feels as though TaToH can defend with his spearmen now. MbL should be able to defend as well, but he's missing some kills on the spearmen, honestly. TaToH's just done a better job at keeping the spears alive. A 2-1 KD here for TaToH. You think about his strategy, but his execution and his army control is really clean. And he's got this whole army coming forward now as well. I love how TaToH has approached this. I don't think TaToH would typically play this way and make this many trash units and make it this messy. But I think against MbL, sometimes you just have to expect this is the type of game it is. And seemingly he's just said, okay, you want to play this way? I'm going to do the same thing. And we've just got spears and skirms from TaToH. MbL will have a couple archers, of course, but there's going to be more pressure coming. TaToH Scout's still alive. MbL doesn't have any way to really pressure TaToH offensively right now. It's all defense for him, both in his unit comp, but also just positioning. These spears MbL's going to be able to have more army back at home here in a second. He kills TaToH there. TaToH trying to micro down the archers with his skirms. Should then maybe try and micro down the spearmen. God, this is a messy game right now. Still no villagers lost. A lot more idle time for MbL. And now is when maybe villagers could start to get picked off. When you've got to fight with vills, that's when you know you could be in trouble here. God, every single time there's a spearman, TaToH kills it. It's insane. And MbL still can't counter him. I could have sworn I saw a villager die there. But apparently still no villager kills here. MbL's woodline is inefficient. TaToH, patient, controlled, and using the market a little bit combined with this eco. And TaToH's going to click up to Castle Age now. Guys, MbL is making his 9th spearman. I say 9th spearman. He's going to have 9 on the field. He lost like 10 of them. But, you know, so the concern here is really the fact that he can't get pikemen long term, right? And TaToH has just done such a nice job here. Picking off the spears when he sees them. He has just enough range units in the mix all the time. And honestly, I don't think this is a situation where TaToH's going to hesitate going knights. His opponent isn't going to have an army to deal with that. TaToH will have archers and spears himself to maybe help with any camels. And I think MbL, having built the tower on the wood line, now can't protect the gold. And he's going to have some problems here if TaToH can use early Castle Age advantage to pressure here. Problem for TaToH, by the way. Like, if MbL stays alive, this gold, man. Like, his gold situation is brutal. There is another gold over here, but TaToH really needs a TC there. If any of these attacks fail, if MbL can hold, one counterattack from MbL, and TaToH could have some big problems. MbL's done, I mean, he is bent, but he hasn't broken yet. He's done a great job to stay alive. And TaToH, he'll understand, like, you're not going to kill MbL quickly. If you're going to kill MbL, it's usually going to be late Castle Age. Very rarely do you see MbL get killed off in Feudal. He's good at just staying in the game. And then he has some unique ways to get leads later on and make it messy. There is gold in TaToH's corner, but it's not something he scouted. That's pretty far away. MbL's gold is pretty close to his TC and somewhat wallable. And TaToH's going to go for crossbow. He's going to go for bodkin now. TaToH has has many ranged units as MbL. Actually, that's not even true. He definitely doesn't have as many. And MbL does the right thing there. Buying that tower is huge. MbL will get crossbow. MbL will get bodkin. He's trying to defend his woodline. TaToH wants more villager kills than what he's gained so far. Finally gets another one. That's still only 2 villagers killed, though. TaToH actually drops the TC on the woodline, showing his confidence, I think, in how aggressive he can be. And he just slides in right over here to pressure the gold. Scouts pull away. But everywhere TaToH goes, MbL has towers. I think if MbL can get some monks in the mix, if he can have some monks to convert any of the knights that counterattack him here, could be really awkward for TaToH to damage him. Camels is, of course, a good option as well. But he's got an eco that's really relying on gold right now, so wouldn't mind seeing a defensive monastery for MbL. TaToH hasn't seen MbL's crossbow army and has to be a little concerned right now because he's going to make a move this way. And MbL's just going to try and go tower defense. So MbL will actually know that TaToH's coming. The tower was perfect. And now MbL is trying to loop forward to damage TaToH. That's enough crossbows where if MbL micros properly, he could kill this army right here. So TaToH needs scorpions. Tower up for MbL. TC protects the woodline here, but not over here for TaToH. And if MbL does move in here, could be problematic for TaToH. Cheap scorpions with the Romans. He's taken the fight just to keep MbL back. Now it's more awkward for MbL to push through there. And 2 TCs for TaToH. So 2 TCs, similar eco upgrades. feels like it's more realistic for TaToH to go for 3 TCs than it even is for MbL to add his first. And so critical moments for TaToH. Now it's like you have the eco lead and the army lead the army count is pretty similar here. MbL dropping the university. Ballistics will help a lot. But TaToH gets a TC down here, and this is just so nice for him, guys. He's got the Scorpions defending this area, TC to protect this area, Monastery up to get relics. And TaToH's just played this perfectly. MbL's hoping for a big attack that TaToH isn't expecting, and for it to kill quite a few villagers here. Someone says MbL's using box formation. Guys, do you remember the video I made in Hidden Cup about box formation? Also, hello, Tiger. This guy's trapped up here. Must suck to be him. I remember, so I made that video, right? And I played it in Hidden Cup. And then, like, that night, MbL was streaming. And his stream title was, "Don't ask me who I am." Because players weren't allowed to say, right? And he was obviously playing in Hidden Cup. He says, "Don't ask me who I am. I guess I need to add a box formation hotkey." So give credit where credit is due. MbL saw that video. He also, Hera told me that MbL messaged him right after that video and said, "What do you know about box formation that I don't?" And now MbL actually uses box formation. So on low numbers of units, for the reasons I explained in the video, it is really common and it is really helpful. So I love that, dude, because every Hidden Cup I've been able to have something like that. I already know if there's another Hidden Cup, something that some players do and others don't, but we'll see if that happens. Here we go. Villagers getting picked off. MbL has ballistics, but the Scorpions just roll their way over. MbL does have another group of crossbows here. He's going to mix in some camels, but TaToH is heavily on stone right now, and he's got a good army right now. Let's be honest. Like, crossbows long term isn't the best for the Romans, but Cav is more than fine. Scorpions is great. And MbL also has to focus a lot on microing these scenarios, and you could just, especially when you have the superior eco, send your knights in, and they're going to do everything for you. And oh my god, MbL runs forward and sees 6 Scorpions, and is probably like, what am I supposed to do against 6? And that's just because of the Roman discount, but also the fact that TaToH's economy is insane. Like, TaToH's played it perfectly. I also love how, like, sometimes you'll see players build a TC to protect the stone, but they'll use the stone miners as the new farmers. But TaToH mined the stone pretty heavily with intention to build a castle here, because he's going to need gold, right? He does have this gold over here, but that's a little awkward. He doesn't know about this gold. And the front of his base is the most vulnerable area if that's where, MbL is going to be aggressive. Outpost from TaToH. Vision from TaToH. Yeah, he's going to start snagging relics, and this is going to be tricky from MbL. Yes, he's dropping the TCs, but it does feel like it's just way later than TaToH here. And this is going to reach a point where TaToH, he could miss-micro his units constantly and still just be able to afford so much more than the opponent. And even denies this TC over here with some knights and just delays MbL further. Just 9 on food for MbL. He really just tossed everything onto gold and wood, used the market to buy the towers, used the market to balance the eco, but TaToH has had pretty much perfect gameplay here, let's be honest, as he even goes for another TC. I mean, why not? Why not? Protect another gold? Continue to get an even bigger lead? Game 1? TaToH doesn't have +2 armor on his knights. Like, he's barely making army right now. The guy's chilling. And these guys, they're like, get me out of here. I don't think that's a bug that needs to be fixed if there's any devs watching, okay? Please don't fix that one. And please bring back the bird getting stuck in the corner bug. I'm still so bummed they fixed that. They fixed that years ago. I still stay up late at night thinking about that. Do you remember when there was always like a 1 in 1,000 chance that a bird would get stuck in the corner? It is weird. I remember it in the patch notes. But I also feel like that might be a map script thing. I don't know if that's a game thing or a map script thing, because birds will get occasionally caught in like resources, I notice. I'm very surprised that TaToH's continuing to produce crossbows. Maybe he feels like he needs crossbows to protect from camels or something that might come in against the scorpions. He is getting ballistics, though, and Roman scorpions are cheaper, and then they're affected by ballistics. So this is about to be a Roman dream. 1-for-1 from TaToH is something he'll take. And here we go. MbL's going to move forward. MbL knows he needs to do damage here. The score doesn't indicate how far behind he is, honestly. And what MbL needs against these scorpions is his own siege. Look at how TaToH's moving. It's like, got all his units grouped up in the same control group here. And TaToH's on the way to imp. I mean, we might see heavy scorpion. I think that TaToH could just go full knights here because MbL isn't really in a position to make many camels. But, I mean, certainly mixing in scorpions long term, I think, is a good mix. This army looks hilarious. This is an AI army if I've ever seen one. MbL knows there's scorpions out there, and oh god. Nice split from TaToH with the scorpions. Let's go. Split again. Whoop. Oh my god, TaToH. That was disgusting. So many people just lose all their scorpions there. I think he only loses one. And now MbL's got to back away. TaToH's splitting scorpions like he's microing crossbows with Britons right now. And TaToH even going for the infantry armor right now. I think if this castle goes up and TaToH's an imp, it might actually be enough for MbL to tap out. I know we'd love to see heavy scorpion, but TaToH's just had the perfect game. And I said it before the game, like, TaToH is it brings the same level from game 1 through game 7. He's a very consistent performer. MbL tends to be a bit of a slow starter. So, losing this game, I think, is okay. You don't need to freak out. You're going to lose games against TaToH today. That's just the reality, even if you win the series. But I think the response for MbL in game 2 is going to be needed because you can't just, start clicking come game 3 or game 4 against a player like TaToH. He is just too good. MbL's already in a bad position, and his opponent's an imp. Could play on. Warm up in the series a bit more. TaToH actually just going to be sitting on this gold, and he's going to find the villagers. And yeah, the GG's called. We don't get to see the legionaries, unfortunately, guys. Though they were on the way from TaToH. This game, for me, just came back to how Feudal Age played out, and TaToH just played it so clean. MbL did produce 20 spearmen. It was his second most produced unit with a civilization that can't go pikemen. And, when he did produce the spears in Feudal, they just kept getting picked off. TaToH just did a better job at that. Remember, both players went into range in Feudal. And it really was TaToH who was able to pick off those spears and still get some value from the scouts and from the knights. Only 6 villagers killed in that game. I can understand why MbL wanted to go Gurjaras, because the Civ is normally dominated by knights. Romans, though, just feel super smooth there for the reasons I mentioned, and TaToH played it perfectly. 10,000 more resources collected, and we'll move on to the next game. All right, now this is the type of action we wanted. Woo, baby. We've got MbL trying to respond here, and he goes for the Turks in the red. We've got TaToH in the blue. And this is Fortified Clearing Palisade Wall Edition, which means that Feudal Age aggression is very much possible through the middle. Yesterday, we saw Spanish go for a tower rush. And the thing you'll find about this map is that you usually, I'm not going to say always, because I don't know if it's 100% of the time, but usually you have a gold on the back and a stone on the front. Hold on a second, guys. I think TaToH started with 1 less vill. Wait. TaToH started with 8 vills. It's supposed to be a 9 villager start. This needs to be a re. MbL here in the red, playing as the Turks. Lost the first game, but this is the type of map where things can get chaotic. Both of these civilizations insane with gunpowder. And I don't necessarily think one civilization is favored over the other here. Does anyone else have any preferences? So the one thing I'll say is I feel as though the Spanish might be slightly better with the Palisade Wall version of this map because a tower rush could be more viable. Whereas if this was the Stonewall version we've seen in many other tournaments, you're pretty much protected on the front from a tower rush. TaToH actually got housed there. So funnily enough, guys, TaToH is actually going to be down a villager, at least temporarily, until MbL ends up getting loom. We did have to restart this because TaToH just straight up started with one less villager. But still here with the same civ. Stone and gold position's really good for MbL if you were to get tower rushed. So it seems like it's not a given that you're going to have a forward resource. And TaToH stones and golds are also really good. So both players have pretty defendable maps here. I just think it's going to be towers from TaToH. He's got 2 on wood. He's Spanish. The Palisade walls are pretty easy to break down. I think it has to be... towers from him here. Sorry, just hydrating here. Opsto, what's up? Thanks for the 23. Thank you, Wishbear, for the 17 months. And TaToH going to hope to tower pressure. I think we'll see tower pressure and then adapt from there. If you do a lot of damage, you could possibly be more or less aggressive based on that. We just kind of see how this plays out. The priority for MbL will be, does MbL adapt to this properly? So, type a 1 in chat if you watched Doubt vs. Barrels on this map yesterday. I asked this question earlier. A bunch of people said once. Sorry for repeating the question. But a big reason Doubt was able to defend was because he was in feudal age at a proper time to build his counter towers, right? And part of that might have been due to the Bengalis. But essentially what I feel he did was he went for a more economic build while also not going up too late to where he couldn't defend with towers. Here comes TaToH with the villagers. He's been on stone, so we kind of knew this was coming. TaToH scouting MbL, but MbL is going for a similar time when compared to Doubt, but 1 vil later, I believe. I think Doubt went up on 22 pop. Now, Doubt was Bengalis. You get extra vils with Bengalis. You could maybe justify going up a bit earlier because of that, but yeah, TaToH, I think, should just focus on battering through the Palisade walls, potentially the Palisade gate. You just have to get that tower down as quickly as possible and make your move. You can wall to the very edge on this version. So a stone wall here could be an idea later on, but I think that's not going to be something we see for quite a while here. Now, MbL, he sees this is happening. He does not have loom. And when he played Black Forest against TaToH, he tried a similar thing with building houses. He didn't have loom against archers, and he lost a lot of vills here. But so far, I really like this. I don't even think you have to complete the houses. I think once the tower's up, you just leave. But, I mean, TaToH's going to be through the gates. And now MbL is still trying to finish this house here. It's at 90%, and MbL has just bought himself a little bit more time. But that house is going to be down quickly here, guys. Dark Age houses go down very quickly. MbL's stone is here. I think if you're going to tower, you need to tower in a position where you could protect and then take more of your stone. TaToH doesn't know where that is. And, oh, God, MbL... If you see MbL rushing at you with villagers, you have to know he's not going to hesitate to attack. But TaToH walls it up. At least walls up some of this. And is Spanish, so he'll build his tower a little bit faster. And looks like it's going to be a bit of a tower defense situation for MbL. Beauty of this for TaToH is he's untouched at home. So he's in his opponent's economy. And his opponent has to deal with all this right on his face. This is enough to maybe frustrate 20% of my audience right now into quitting the game. Sorry for calling you out. 30% of the audience would completely panic. They would stay in the game, and then they would die later on in Castle Age. And then the other 50% have faced this enough times over the last couple years, they can proudly proclaim that they know how to beat it. And the way you beat it is counter towers, and usually trying to get to the next stage a bit faster to mix in some siege. Bullet says like you wouldn't panic and die. Bullet, that was back in 2016, okay? And 2015, and 2014, and 2013, and maybe 2017. But not in 2024, all right? Stop being stuck in the past there, kid. Bullet was around. Bullet knows. TaToH, thinking about rushing this down. And MbL, he has been mining stone, and he's going to place another tower back here. I think having control of stone is critical here. Both these civilizations are so good with gunpowder. I don't know if TaToH is going to be able to rush down this tower here, though. I wonder if MbL's tower here ranges TaToH's tower. I think it does. So then it's 2 towers versus 1. Look at the resources collected for MbL here. He's collected 600 more resources. That's crazy. And I think being the Turks, having the gold mining bonus is super nice here. He could just make a market, buy some food. Maybe find his way to the next stage. Nice job from MbL to defend from this. And I don't think that MbL went up at a time that he would have done if this was stone walls. He would have added a couple more villagers. But I think what MbL did was he accounted for the fact he needed to potentially defend from one of these rushes. And it's very similar to what TaToH did the other day. TaToH's just going to sit here and take some of that gold. We're not taking gold at home at the moment. And MbL is going to build a market outside of his base. Which I don't... which I don't really understand. I don't know why market outside the base is a thing. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but I was just kind of expecting it to be up against his walls. This might indicate that he wants to maybe sneak villagers to the middle. And he's scouting the map with his scout. That's actually a really big deal. I know that TaToH's going to recognize that MbL is... Oh, this is going to be a siege push from MbL. 100%. There's a reason he went out there, guys. He wants to sneak. So TaToH doesn't have a scout, right? So TaToH can't see this. And also, I know that TaToH will recognize that some of MbL's score is scouting, but you can't tell me that as a player, it still doesn't bother you when your opponent has that big a score lead. MbL! What? Bro! You know what this map looks like. Where are we going? Ran right into the TC. Okay, see, MbL is all about relatable content. And he wants you guys to feel at home here. All right, so... Oh, I love this from MbL. So he's going to go for a stable... 1 or 2 scouts to loop in here and attack these vills, because they're also weak, could be really strong. TaToH, of course, isn't expecting this. I think, if anything, TaToH might expect a, like a sneaky side push. He's walling up the outside just in case. It's a bit interesting, TaToH's situation, because it's not like he has a ton of vills on stone. He could always buy some stone, but it doesn't feel like a natural spot to be able to get a castle later on. And then he still has the forward vills, which... makes me think it's going to be a castle. I think, if anything, right now, TaToH is expecting MbL to be heavily on stone, planning for a castle drop. That's what everyone thinks in this matchup. TaToH is not expecting this. And MbL can see this. MbL knows about this, and he's dropping a siege workshop too. Oh, this could be really strong. I think... I mean, if you get Lightcav here, you kill all these vills. There's no way for TaToH to defend this. He can hop in and out of the tower for a bit. But this is a brilliant play from MbL. He needs this in this series. Tie it up and get some momentum. And TaToH is going to regret losing that scout. And as the villagers get stuck there, he's going to regret coming to MbL's base of all people. Sick job from MbL. And the first thing his siege could... The first direction his siege can go is here. He's actually going to bring these 2 vills. He's going to bring even more vills and just try and rush down this tower. Scorpion can take care of these vills as well, and this is going to be a massive lead for MbL. Wasn't expecting a Scorpion, but I guess he just wants some ranged unit. And TaToH's going to have to shift plans. Maybe it was his original plan, but I think his original plan was to make scouts for map control. And after losing these villagers, TaToH is going to go for something more aggressive, and he just sacrifices his eco to buy a castle. And TaToH is going to try and go for conquistadors now. But 9-1 KD here. Also, I think this map was TaToH's home map. Does anyone remember? We'll have to look at the draft. This would be huge. To tie it up and take away one of TaToH's home maps would be pretty nice here. Walls are up. Walls are going down here for TaToH as well. He is going to be making conks, guys. Light Cav, good for map control. Not so good against conks. Scorpion, well, pretty much good against villagers at this point. I don't know if the Scorpion's going to be that helpful. I would be a little worried now from MbL. Because he's probably like, okay, well, I have enough of a lead where I should win now. I've got good map control. And then, boom, suddenly you see the castle and you're just like, oh, no. 3 conquistadors can kill all of this, right? And then, Lycav can't really get much value, at least to kill TaToH or damage TaToH further. But TaToH's eco is really not looking good here. MbL dropping his second town center on top of having more vills, on top of having wheelbarrow already. And MbL's going to send his first monk to the outside, guys. There's the outside to worry about where there's relics. 2 of them are very much in this corner. So that's good for TaToH, but I don't think he's going to get any relics anytime soon. Monks is good enough to defend here. Basically, when you have the economy lead, you need the monks to defend for, let's say, 5 minutes, right? And if you defend with the better economy for a little bit longer, then you have the options to go for other things. So, I wouldn't put it past MbL to go for a second monastery here, just to have a few more monks. What's kind of nice for him is he does have these 2 towers, and then he does still have the natural walls in towards the TC, so he doesn't have to take any risks out here. Could have maybe rewalled his base, but at the end of the day, it's palisade walls, so if it's stone walls, he absolutely would need to rewall this. Not rewalling this isn't that big of an issue, in my opinion, when it's palisades. TaToH coming for the kill. TaToH sees the monks, and he sees the towers, and yeah, TaToH's going to find it really difficult to engage here. MbL's will send his light cav this way. Would like to see MbL also scout this side with light cav, but maybe they found out about the other guy and figured that area is dangerous because he never came home. But still, I think, you know, 1 or 2 light cav patrolling this area. TaToH may be doing the same. There's 5 relics in the middle of the map, and then there's 4 relics on the outside on this map. And MbL just going to stonewall the outside so he doesn't get hit there. But, I mean, his buildings even give him vision on what's happening towards the middle right now. Ooh. Interesting timing here. MbL sees this gate, and he's probably feeling really good about the fact that he's stonewalling here. TaToH's actually going to come check and see if he can do damage here. Because TaToH, he saw the monks were waiting for him. And he probably figured he can't do much damage through the middle right now. Sick play from MbL to get the walls. Okay, TaToH's units, you see this? They're going back because he clicked over here. And because this is walled, they will immediately path, like, the other way. So, that's actually kind of good for TaToH because it gives him information early. But yeah, if you just don't have a reasonable way to path to where you click a unit, it will send you the other direction. So it makes TaToH's mind up on where he wants to go. He probably figures it's a waste of time to go the other way now, and he would be correct. Because MbL's done the right thing. And this game is similar to the previous game where MbL's economy is so far ahead that TaToH should never be able to match it. Where it's different is TaToH has the superior units, and MbL loses his monks, and the conks are in. And I mean, this is one of the strongest units in the game, and TaToH says, fine. I don't think you have a lot right now, bro. And he's going to run through. Does actually eat a lot of the town center here. A lot more than he would have wanted, but he's in, guys. And this is going to get really awkward for MbL now. Because, yeah, he might have the villager lead, but a lot of these villagers are going to be idle for the time being. Majority of his farming eco just got disrupted. He is going to drop a castle here, though. I like this. And then maybe he can make some janissaries to deal with these conks over time. But TaToH drops the second town center. TaToH getting relic number 2. Working on bringing in relic number 3. And still has the potential to pick off villagers. And, you know, I could just see in 3 or 4 minutes time, suddenly TaToH be closer with the resources collected. and TaToH having the lead because those conks just dove right in. He's got so much map control here as well. Conquistador's looking around. TaToH would have been able to maybe see the Vills if they went from the castle to the right side. I don't know. That's a very specific thing to look at. I think if anything, he's just trying to protect this. But he might be thinking, is he taking stone? Where can he take resources? I have mobile units. I need to move around. And MbL's dropping a TC there. Things just got very awkward for MbL. And that perfect eco that he set up is definitely falling apart right now. Guys, and this is just a situation that has become so awkward for MbL to manage. If there was a player who could manage this awkwardness, though, it would be him. He typically thrives in chaos. He's going to have his own gunpowder now. It's much slower than the conks, but there's a couple weak ones in here, and I think if he just brings over Janissaries to this area, he could start to pick these off finally. Actor says, please, T90, talk about the relics. Did I not talk about the relics 60 seconds ago? Maybe it was 90 seconds. I'll talk about the relics. TaToH's getting relics. He's got 4. Now, he doesn't see the relics here. And he's probably not going to assume there were relics there. Well, sits here with the conks. Sits here with the conks. And conquistadors are just insanely annoying, man. In the hands of a mobile player, this unit is just disgusting. One of the best things you can make against this would be elite skirmisher, and Turks don't get elite skirmisher, so MbL hoping that he could just out gunpowder the conks. And TaToH, he might not have those relics on the left, but MbL won't have them either. TaToH's got 5 relics. He's killed 10 villagers. He's killing Janissaries everywhere I look. And this is looking pretty brutal for MbL now. He does have the villager lead. It's significant. But the idle time's significant. And TaToH is on 3 TCs now. Classic case of using military to allow your economy to come back in the game. I remember, I mean, anyone can micro conks, honestly. Anyone with thumbs, or maybe without thumbs, can micro conks. It's not like the hardest units to micro. Not taking anything away from TaToH, but I remember a comment from Daniel that stuck with me like 4 years ago. He said, the best players use their micro to set up their macro, right? So basically that means they take really good fights, and that gives them more time for this. And, well, you can see TaToH's doing that perfectly here. He's just in and out from both sides all the time. Now, MbL's chasing him here, so TaToH can continue to pressure from this side. The thing is, TaToH can kind of choose when to take the fights here. MbL, he has to be the one to chase. And TaToH's micro has just been ridiculous. It has been so good. And he finds his way on the way to the Imperial Age here. So 2 castles for MbL. This castle pretty much just to protect this area. Will be nice, though, because he can maybe take that stone. I feel like a good play now for TaToH would be to drop a castle right here towards the middle. You get a castle to protect the golden stone, but also to protect your trebs if you want to push MbL's castles. It's hard for MbL to think about TaToH's imp timing at this point. Basically, the main thing on his mind is to keep his TCs working and to make enough Janissaries, because that seems like the unit to go to now. If he could clear these conks, then I think it's going to be more obvious in his mind. He needs to try and rush to the next age. But because he still doesn't have enough to deal with this, he's always going to be producing more. These 4 conks have killed 16 units. Make it 17. Ridiculous value from TaToH, but MbL gets close. A lot of these are weak. And TaToH's going to get away with 3 more conks. TaToH! Crazy micro. He's okay. He maybe thought they were going to die. Or maybe was looking in the middle here. Now, this is important for MbL. I know it's looking awkward for him because he's lost so much, but he's cleared up the conks in the back. And not only has he done that, but he's stopping TaToH from having any control towards the middle. If TaToH had the forward castle, this would be problematic. Because TaToH doesn't have it, I mean, MbL still in a solid position economically. He can take the stone and gold towards the middle, and we have ourselves a game, friends. This game could have easily been over if TaToH would have never got that damage with the conks. This would have felt like 3 TC boom versus 1. MbL with the 30 villager lead. MbL with the timings. MbL with the momentum. But now, MbL has the 20 villager lead, but he doesn't have the 5 relics. And he's going to try and push middle here. And TaToH just kind of distracted here. And he's going to run away with these conks. But, I mean, TaToH's got so many conks. I think he's going to try and petard through here, by the way. I think the first thing we see... Yeah, petard's out of the castle. He wants to bust through this wall and continue to harass MbL. Because MbL's hoping that he's safe now. And he's probably like, oh, finally, man. Interesting addition from MbL to go for the stables here. I don't hate it. I was expecting... archer ranges if he didn't have faith in the Janissaries. So he would go for maybe Cav Archer with the Turks. But if you love this unit, and there's a lot of reason to, it's 17 attack. He's got 2 castles, soon going to have 3 castles for production. You want a meat shield in front, and Turks get Hussar for free, right? So he's just going to have Hussars as a throwaway unit in the front. Oh, man. I just be like... MbL's finally gotten to a point where it feels like he's fine. And oh, this is so good for him. TaToH losing 3 conks. But TaToH is going to be in the back of MbL's base. Look at this. He's got nothing back here. Oh, he has mangonels, actually. First thing MbL clicks is artillery. And when these conks run through, and they're in now, and MbL tries to damage control, but that gate will go down. MbL's going to have to send some army back here, but it's also important he doesn't send too much because he absolutely needs to push. TaToH's now going to prep some level of defense for whatever push MbL brings. MbL's going to have 14 range bombard cannons pushing the middle, which is what these siege workshops were made for. MbL's got 11 Janissaries in queue. These guys are slow, unfortunately. But you've got to bring some of them home. Bringing all 30 home is painful. This is good from MbL, though. Rewalling this so TaToH can't just come through with more units is important. Please take out these freaking mining camp and palisade walls. I keep looking at that, thinking that's units from TaToH. Bombard cannons show themselves. TaToH expecting them, now runs out because he understands MbL cannot defend that now. But MbL getting elite Janissary. Hasn't lost as much as I thought he would lose here. He's reacted really nicely. The issue for MbL is Hussar, while it is a meat shield, it is like... it's like a lunch meat shield. It's a very, very thin meat shield. It does not really accomplish much. Unless he gets more upgrades, which he can't really afford right now. I think the Hussar would be really valuable, too, if TaToH was going for something like Skirmisher, maybe, but there's no skirms in the mix. There's also not a lot of potential for MbL to be able to raid right now. These are standard... oh, no, they are elite conquistadors, sorry. So it's elite conquistadors against elite Janissary. TaToH continues to try and micro. Again, the more presence he has back here, the better it will be for him in the middle. But MbL's going to clear this. At least I think so. Oh, no, dude. TaToH is just going to run... what? What? So units are actually getting stuck on the edge of the map? That's interesting. I just thought that was a visual thing. And I'm so frustrated for MbL right now. He's doing such a good job, but TaToH just continues to be so annoying. And look at TaToH! He's going to die for all 4 bombard cannons. Totally worth it, by the way. And, oh, he might get the others. He's going to get 6! No way! Well, I mean, conks aren't cheap, right? You don't want to lose your conk mass, and MbL's still going to have a lot of Janissaries, but... like, if MbL had those bombard cannons, he could be pushing this castle right now, and TaToH would have some big problems. This gives TaToH more time to chill and think about his next step. Still just 1 conquistador in the back. That guy's finally going to die. And now MbL can bring all that military forward. MbL could still be fine, guys. He's building bombard towers with artillery. TaToH can't be diving much longer if these towers are going up. And he's got the 14 range cannons. He saw TaToH getting Cavalier a moment ago. He was probably thinking he needs Need some cav in the mix. But even with 7 relics, I don't know if TaToH can hold on if MbL has all this stone and gold through the middle. This is classic MbL. I don't know if there's another player who would build Bombard Towers in this entire tournament. MbL's like, I don't care. I'm going to make so many Bombard Towers. There's enough to spread the love for the rest of us here. I mean, he's the player who is known for this. I have videos on this. The Bombard Tower wall is one of my favorite videos. It is such a good unit. It's, such a good building, especially with the Turks and if you have stone and gold. TaToH loses a castle. TaToH needs to think about running these relics at the back of his base. He did try. He has 3 back here. And TaToH's going to go Paladin. Dang. Paladin's crazy. Paladin and Elite Conch is insane. And TaToH's like, I got to snag that. Thank you very much. There he goes. Thing is, he's going to have like 4 Paladins. He has 22 Conchs. MbL has 50 Janissaries. And MbL's creeping forward with towers. I don't know if you could call this a comeback if MbL wins this. Because he had the lead at one point. But TaToH did such a good job to control this game. And such a sick job from MbL to just stick to his game plan. Look at the amount of gunpowder and towers going up here. He's even buying stone, guys. And in the blink of an eye, everything that TaToH owns is now MbL's. Multiple TCs going down. The monastery's gone down. Paladin's going to be in. TaToH's going to have 15 of them with the Conchs. And he does have some bomber cannons. And that's critical. TaToH needs his own bomber cannons because he needs to push down the towers. That's the thing, though. Because the towers are here, it gives MbL so much more time to react to this. And what a fight! You never see all these units at once. It is so rare that we do anyways. MbL's still building some towers. The Paladins are going to dive now for those bombard cannons. The Conchs are going to join in. The towers are going crazy right now. Only 2 kills. And bombard cannons have gotten sniped. So, decent enough for TaToH, but think about it, guys. MbL still has gold around. MbL kept his bombard cannons alive. The towers have 8 kills on very expensive units. And, I mean, I'm looking at MbL's gold supply. Most of his gold is still on the front, but he still has so many Janissaries. Like, it feels impossible for TaToH to be able to kill the Siege and the Janissaries right now. And the towers just continue to control more and more of the map. This monastery on the right of your screen is MbL telling everybody that he is not losing this position. If he thought that there was a risk that he would lose this position, he would try and be fancy and take the relics back home. There's no going back home. MbL either wins here or he loses this game, and it's so much easier to get the relics if he plays it like this. So I think it's a good decision. Bombard cannons from TaToH in the mix. Trebs from TaToH as well. Taking out some of these towers if MbL creeps a little too far forward. 6 bombard cannons for MbL, though. TaToH wants to kill them. Snipes 1. Snipes 2. Paladins go in as well. Snipes 3. Actually looking pretty good for TaToH. Snipes 4. Hold on. TaToH. He's still just got so many towers to kill. Like, it's just so freaking annoying. Incredible play from TaToH, don't get me wrong. And sure, the towers are expensive. Maybe MbL won't be able to make more of them, but there's just still so many. Look at these things. Look at the range. They've got 13 range, guys. Like, they could take down the bombard cannons. Group of Janissaries here for MbL. 36 kills. This is an amazing game. We haven't seen any side raids happen. Maybe side raids could be something that both players could consider at some point. But it feels like they need all their population here. TaToH underneath the towers. He gives them no respect. And he's trying his best to take them down. But notice how MbL tasked the towers to the cannons. And where are all the Conchs and Paladins now, TaToH? I know TaToH, he had 7 relics, which brought in a lot of gold. Now he's down to 4. But I think this guy's going to run out of gold. Yeah, this is his 30 on gold right here, on that gold tile. There's not a lot of gold remaining on the map, actually. Look at that, 2,700 gold remaining on the map. Every Treb, every Paladin, every Conquistador that TaToH lost It's just simply too expensive for him, and he taps out. MbL ties the series. What a game. And what a performance from both, honestly. Again, it did feel like after MbL's excellent response and excellent lead in early castle, that TaToH was going to find it very difficult to get damage. But he ended up breaking in. He ended up finding damage. And this is by no means, a new thing with Twitch chat, but people started to call the GG. People started to give up on MbL because TaToH had won the first game so convincingly. And because of how annoying and incredible those conquistadors were inside of MbL's economy. But he just continued to produce. And then in early imp, his mindset was push the middle. I don't know how he was able to push the middle so convincingly when he was being raided that much. But it just really felt like the Bombard Towers added so much value to the push. And it was maybe the key play there. Also, getting artillery right away for the extra range on the Bombard Cannons and the towers was perfect. That was the Civ, and that was the map MbL wanted to tie up the series here. So I don't really know if we're going to do any of the best individual games going to YouTube for this tournament. I think we're just going to upload the quarterfinals in separate sets. But if this is an individual video that hits YouTube at some point, I hope people enjoyed it because this was a special one. Well played to MbL, and in our best of 7 here, he ties it up. Did end up collecting more of every resource here, even though TaToH brought in 3,500 gold with the relics. Relics do just take a long time to bring in resources. That's the reality. And yeah, guys, we move on to many more games here, hopefully. Welcome, welcome. We've got TaToH playing as the Goths. Things are about to get crazy. Game 3. Goths versus Teutons. And Goths get loom instantly, and that's helpful on a map where you want to steal as many boars as possible or lame as many boars as possible. Look at TaToH here. He's got vills going 3 different directions. And so Goths could take the boars, or they can do this if TaToH is to be careful. His villager's getting hit by the boar, and yeah, he just kills the boar. There's 8 boars on this map, and TaToH wants to bring in as many as he can near his base. He's still got 3 around, and he wants to find the other boars that MbL wants to lure into his TC and lame them. He's doing this up against MbL, who's known for being so good at in situations where there's lames involved. But, the Goths just killed the boar so quickly. It's kind of funny is this boar was almost blocking MbL's lumber camp foundation there for a second. That's going to be another boar dead. Very far away from the TC here. This has been an amazing start for TaToH. Like, pretty poor, obviously, economically to have 3 villagers walking around. Or 2, I guess. But I think it's worth it if you deny 700 food from going to your opponent. Not to mention, Goth Hunt lasts longer. So TaToH's boars will be... Ooh, hold on. We'll see what happens here. MbL might try and steal this one. But TaToH's boars will bring him a lot more food. And he's going to have more boars. TaToH sees this, is blocking MbL's villager, and is going to start to bring in this boar before MbL can get there. Actually, what could happen is this boar might die. Look, TaToH stopped shooting it because he knows that MbL could kill it out here. That the boar would die out here. And MbL's trying to kill it right now, guys. Nice job from TaToH. Actually brought a villager to attack. MbL has to run away, and that's perfect there from TaToH. This has been the dream start for the Goths. What is it? MbL has 2 boars? On a map where there was 8 of them? Seems about right. Teutons do have the cheap farms. So that's something to maybe plan on. And MbL wants to kill this Vill. That's a dead Vill. Wait. Dead Vill. Well played, MbL. I mean, some type of revenge was needed here. And I think TaToH got far too ambitious there. Trying to bring in a boar when MbL has that horse around. Perfect play. And suddenly, I'm feeling better about MbL's position. Being up a Vill, long term, maybe snagging this boar as well. It could be really good. Dude, MbL. TaToH can do this too, dude. TaToH can do this too. Don't go take that boar. This might actually be a boar that never dies, guys. You could tell he thought about it. And then saw the horse there from TaToH and figured maybe not. Alright, so Mill's on the way up from TaToH. He's built the lumber camp on the outside. MbL's built the lumber camp and his second lumber camp here. I personally am not a fan of this. I think the reason MbL's doing this is because he's had his horse so active on the front. Whereas TaToH had previously scouted this, or maybe he just knew it would be out there, but I do think having both your lumber camps on this wood line puts you in a position where you do need to win a bit earlier. But maybe he's already in a position where he needs to win a bit earlier because of how the boar situation went. Because TaToH's food economy it looked a lot better here, I would say. Having said that, it's not... I mean, it's not crazy what he has underneath his TC. It's crazy what he has banked, but MbL also has 300 food, so... yeah, who knows? MbL almost ran into the TC fire there from TaToH. MbL almost baiting TaToH to try and re-garrison there. Force some idle time. Sees the barracks. TaToH should be looking to see what MbL is doing. And last time TaToH played this map, his horse got trapped in a lumber camp, which was ridiculous. I forget who TaToH played. Can someone remind me who TaToH played? Anyways, he didn't scout what his opponent was doing. He just guessed incorrectly, and then the game kind of ended from there. Oh, it was Hart. Thank you. Yeah. TaToH's going to see it's a range opening, which a lot of people have been doing on this map, but he's not going to see the tower. Interesting move from MbL. I don't hate this. It just denies the berries from TaToH, forces TaToH into farms. But TaToH's going to try and snag this boar, and he actually made a spearman to protect the villager. MbL refuses to accept that TaToH could get this. MbL just give up on it, man. I like the attempt. I also love how TaToH knew he needed to defend the Vill. TaToH gets housed at 25 pop here and gets early wheelbarrow. That's certainly not something that TaToH was intending to do here. And Teutons have cheap farms, so like Teutons could absolutely catch up with the food count, if not be ahead in the food count because of that. I like this, guys. Walling in the tower from MbL. So many players don't do this. That's really good. And more Vills working for MbL because he's not researching wheelbarrow. And horse still active to see what TaToH's up to and where TaToH's going. Guys, I noticed that TaToH got housed a ton in that series against Hart. He played amazing, but the only thing I could really say is he was consistently getting housed throughout the Feudal Age and Castle Age. Just like 4 or 5 instances each game, it felt like, where he was getting pop capped, and that's normally something we talk about with MbL. Actually, ironically, MbL's housed right now. But, you know, something to look for here. And TaToH thinking ahead with the houses, but also getting housed right now. So it's just like, I think you just got to be dropping a lot more houses because it just is such a messy map. This map, more than any, really hard to pay attention to those details. This could be a dead villager here. TaToH using the horse to block, and yeah, that will be a dead vill. So first kill of the game, actually, from TaToH. It also says TaToH has a death, where MbL doesn't have a kill. Did we miss TaToH losing a villager to a boar? Or something? I think we must have. Maybe you guys saw it and I just didn't notice it. Another villager down for MbL. Was it on the... Oh, wait. I literally talked about it. Oh, okay. Guys. I get it. I totally knew it. Listen, you guys know the name of the game is just trying to get the chat active, all right? Sorry, it's just my job to make sure that you guys speak up. That's all. Man, holy crap. You guys almost looked like you were offended by me missing that. There's a lot of details here. I'm busy. All right? But yeah, that was also like 5 minutes ago. My bad. MbL still hanging out with these villagers. And it has been a skirm spear war almost every time we've seen Alpine in Warlords 3. I mean, I would love to see a late man-at-arms transition. I would also love to see MbL build a lumber camp anywhere but up on this awkward hill. This is a very MbL lumber camp. TaToH's never going to expect that he's going to be there, though. So maybe, maybe that's the thinking. I don't think that MbL needs to worry about hunt as much. The 14 farms is great. TaToH's trying to combine things, right, with farms and also the hunt. But it's actually easier for you long term and easier for you gameplay-wise to just focus on the farms. Vill count pretty even here. TaToH does actually find these villagers. And MbL still just massing enough skirms to defend from this. He does have more skirms than TaToH. Skirm, are you enjoying this game? No, he's not having a good time, but we'll catch up with him later. See if he's enjoying the action. I don't think it's going to be a good time for skirmishers come Castle Age. Both players will probably switch into Siege or maybe switch into Knights. Both civs have decent enough options there. Could also see maybe some longswords. But villagers that were on the front for MbL choose to go home, and he's going to drop a stable. And, ooh, interesting. Sometimes the tower, when it's attacking something, will give vision. So I thought maybe the tower would give vision to TaToH that the stable's going to be there, but it doesn't. You have to be careful, though, guys. If you have, like, a tower or a castle, don't build your buildings directly next to it. Because any of your buildings that are attacking the enemy will have some line of sight around it. Just something to think about. TaToH just got fletching, which MbL doesn't have yet. And MbL's villagers on the front just continue to want to plow forward here. And he's going to drop a tower. TaToH needs to react to this. He needs to react to this fast. I think bringing in villagers to batter down that tower might be the play. He is still microing here, though. Sending the vills here would be the play if he thinks this area is a concern. But he's just going to give it up. And TaToH's also going to add scouts. All right. Well, it's going to be concerning that MbL doesn't have any spears right now. TaToH still has spears always ready to protect these skirms. God, that requires such crazy focus and patience. Most people would accidentally lose these spears at some point, and then the scouts from MbL would pay off. What I'd like to see from MbL is trying to get into the back of TaToH's eco, where TaToH might not have spears. Look at TaToH. Look how many mills he's built. Look at this. Farms, mining, mill. TaToH's spear's still alive. Still harassing. For a while, MbL's eco was looking better than TaToH's, but I think because of MbL's idle time and the lack of worker efficiency right now, I think that's why MbL is starting to fall behind in resources. And TaToH is housed at the moment. Fix that. Building a couple of extra houses again. On this map, I think it's understandable. And MbL wants this to count. And he wants it to hurt immediately. Does TaToH know about this? Oh, he sees the stable. He saw the stable. I think because of Town Watch, he can see that now. Well, that's the other thing. You don't want to build too closely to your opponent. But good luck. Good luck not doing that on this map. A scout goes down, or horse rather goes down there for MbL, and scouts are here from TaToH, and scouts are here from MbL. There's no spearmen around. MbL has forging. This is the last place that TaToH is going to expect a scout rush. MbL just passing. MbL is trying to defend here, guys. He's concerned. Whoa, sorry, my capture rate's lagged. Forging's in for both. TaToH does react. We'll know to send some spears here. MbL finds some damage, finally, to TaToH's eco. But TaToH still has a force here. And beyond this, I say beyond this like he can't accomplish much, but MbL does need to deal with this. He's sending more scouts over. I think MbL can clear this in a moment. And he's found these villagers out here. TaToH's bringing the spears. MbL microing away. Look at the micro! He lured 2 spears away. That was sick. And guys, to do that while also defending is really impressive. Now, TaToH is actually luring the scouts away with his own scout towards spearmen. So nice job from both players to micro there. But MbL just simply runs away from the spearmen over here, and MbL's killed 6 villagers from TaToH. That was weird. That confused me. That house is going to continue to be something I look at. MbL's scouts paid off. But TaToH's going to still have some as well. Now, on this map, you have 2 tiles of gold next to your TC. Usually, you're able to take all of that before you transition elsewhere. Usually, you are. And TaToH's going to try and tower that right now. When you think about MbL and how this game is played out, the last thing he was probably thinking about was moving outwards to gold. He is Teutons, though. It's really tough to justify towering the Teutons, right? I think the Teutons are always going to be in a position to defend if they can build their own tower. And MbL, lovely reaction here. Builds his own tower. He'll definitely shoot this tower down, which is why TaToH's going to keep moving. MbL still has these scouts on the move, too. But now what does MbL do for gold? I mean, long term, he could move over here. Another tower for MbL. So, let me get things straight. MbL made like 3 towers on Lands Madness, game number 1. Game number 2, he made, I don't know, like 15 towers with Turks. This game, he's now going up to tower number 3. What's kind of funny about game number 1 is in game number 3 is he's never really mined a lot of stone. Ooh, man, that's going to hurt for MbL. This is what people envision when they saw Alpine originally in this tournament. It's just a lot of messy situations. TaToH is still hunting? That's crazy. Look at his vision. Look at his scouting. TaToH's also going to build some defensive towers. And TaToH's little army here is harassing. TaToH on the way to Castle Age faster than MbL. Eco KD's pretty similar. Resources brought in also pretty similar. And there goes MbL on the way after using the market. Yeah, I mean, the market is really your best friend in this type of game. TaToH will run away with this army. Probably forced to engage, hoping the spears get some hits, but MbL knows the spears will just die to the skirms. So 5 scouts for MbL, 5 scouts for TaToH. TaToH with a slight edge in the uptimes. TaToH isn't taking this gold, by the way. And he's almost mined through this gold. Interesting. MbL's still not mining stone. So this is the 3rd time he's bought stone in this game, which is surprising. And I actually think my biggest concern for MbL is the wood lines. Like, he's chopping the weirdest trees. He's never really built a lumber camp that I would say is advisable on this map long term. And, oh man, these villagers were spotted. I think MbL forgot about these vills. And, oh, wow, okay. TaToH has mercy on him. Ah! Bro! Just MbL! I get that at this point, it is just instinct, okay? But fight against your instincts, bro. You just losing villagers here, and you're gonna build a lumber camp with 2 vills closer to your opponent? Just walk home. It's not that far. Oh my god. TaToH's gonna be like, huh? Again, MbL's an instinctual player. When it gets messy, you just gotta vibe, you know? But, I mean, he loses that vill because TaToH runs in and finishes it off. And he has never had a lumber camp on any of these outside areas. TaToH's first lumber camp was on the outside area. And it has played such a role. I'm actually curious on total worker efficiency. I bet you that 4% difference at the bottom left could just come down to where wood was chopped this game. Because TaToH had forward villagers and whatnot too. Not trying to be too critical, but it's about tiny details at this level. And TaToH certainly has had the edge in the tiny details flowing towards Castle Age. Second TC on the exposed wood area. And like have upgrade for him. MbL can't do that, of course. So his scouts will remain scouts. Nice job from MbL to keep most of his villagers alive here, though. They're really making it tough for TaToH. And TaToH loses some of his like have HP. I also really think that this forward tower position for MbL could be really strong. Because this is a position he could possibly siege push from. But you do need wood for siege. And I'm concerned that this is reaching a point where TaToH can just dance around MbL. Teuton's not getting husbandry is a big issue here for them keeping up with knights like this. And TaToH has pikes waiting in most of the areas he's exposed. He's made it really difficult for MbL, sorry, to find damage. I don't want to say it's stabilized for TaToH because, like, you still have this TC. You're still making more vills from it. Sending them long distances is risky. But everywhere I look at TaToH's base, there's pikes. And we even have a TC in the south now for TaToH. Ooh, sneaky. Well, MbL will never find that. Oh, MbL needs to react on his golds, guys. He doesn't see this. He's looking here right now. But TaToH with the other group, slaughtering villagers here on the gold. MbL does react, but he's now down. He's behind 15 villagers. This guy's still alive. Don't ask me how, but this villager is somehow still alive. He's paid really close attention to that. And we've got supplies for MbL. Okay, I like it. I really like it. Like, he is telegraphing it a bit because TaToH can look at this and see the double barracks. But I think going longsword when your opponent has gone pike defense, especially when you're playing as Teutons, is a good move. I'm not sure Gambesons is needed. I noticed a lot of players, if they're going to go longswords, they always get Gambesons as well. And that does add extra pierce armor. It's not a bad tech to get, though, if you're going to be underneath towers, of course. It does delay the longsword tech and maybe some of the units you can afford a little bit. Longer than one might like. But, I mean, TaToH defending here with the Night War, he simply has more numbers. And TaToH can just use Knights against longswords. Knights will still beat longswords. Granted, these are Teuton longswords. TaToH, 4th TC. Well, this is what you want with Goths, right? You just want an easy boom game where you could chill. Goths could beat anyone, even the Teutons, if they get that eco lead. And it's a significant one right now for TaToH. Still no armor upgrades for MbL, so that Gambesons isn't exactly going to cancel that out. This villager's still living the life of a baller over here. He's going to survive. He's got stories to tell. This is the guy you want to meet at a bar at some point, you know? Hear about this man's life. Might be a little sad, though. It might not be, like... It might not be stories you go home and tell your friends about. 78 villagers for TaToH. 43 for MbL. Like we said, there's enough pikes around to probably defend from this. Yes, these are Teuton Knights. Yes, there's extra armor, but it's not good enough. And TaToH has somehow stabilized this chaotic map after this crazy start when the game was so even for a while. He's about to have double the population lead. Could be bad if his eco was spread out, if MbL was really able to raid, but MbL not really able to do so right now. He is really waiting. Like, he's being as patient as possible with the longswords. When he shows up with longswords, he wants TaToH to be surprised. And, well, he's over here. So, there's a surprise. We might see TaToH just immediately click longswords himself. I'm seeing ranges now from him, so he may consider archers. And there was another stable, but I guess he canceled it. So TaToH's going to try and go crossbows. Oh my god, this villager finally goes down. F's in chat to pay respects to him. TaToH, 88 villagers. It is just 46 for MbL right now. TaToH has pulled ahead to an insane degree, and I mean, even just a castle to defend this corner, I think wins the game for TaToH. MbL really needs something fast here. Longswords, we said something fast. We're going as fast as we can. They're just such a slow unit. Did he get squires, guys? Does anyone remember? Shout out to the people who use the press F emote, by the way, for the meme instead of typing F. Even though I told chat to type F, anytime a Twitch chat types F, I just assume my stream has gone offline. So that's why I don't say that frequently. Okay, so he did get squires, and now he's getting arson. And I mean, he destroyed that TC. He's got a lot of them. Right now, MbL would win straight up fights against what TaToH has. But he has to get there. And TaToH's going cav archers, baby. Let's go. I actually think cav archers is a great choice. Because TaToH has been winning this game with mobility. And Goth cav archers they aren't horrible against Teutons, if you think about it. Teutons do struggle against cav archers in general. Goths still get full blacksmith upgrades. It's not, you know, you're not going to go into the game and plan on cav archers, but if the situation calls for it, I think it's a better play than crossbow. MbL 47 villas. He's 107 for TaToH. And look at this nasty little choke pointed area that poor MbL's got to run through right now. It feels helpless to be a longsword right now. He does have the melee armor with Teutons, but the melee armor doesn't help against range. And yeah, he's just going to lose his army. The castle from TaToH is going to go up. TaToH could just run around all day. Takes some skill to do that, of course, but it's much easier when you're so safe at home. It does feel like the GG will be called shortly. MbL probably realizing he's dead, but just wants to play on a little bit longer just to work this game out of his system. I think, like, it's so tricky, right? But, like, the thing that TaToH won this game with was understanding about expanding to the outside. And that is so difficult to think about when you are constantly so exposed and constantly fighting and defending in so many areas. But you even go back, like, to the wood approach, okay? TaToH's very first lumber camp was just walking a little bit further and lumber camping here. His first mill was here. His first mining camp was here. TaToH was, like, outside, focused the entire time. At this point in the game, right? Same point in the game when TaToH's got, like, mills and farms and mining camps, everything on the outside. MbL's got mill on the inside, lumber camp, lumber camp, lumber camp. Just now built a mill on the outside. So it was two different extremes, right? MbL just didn't really expand to the outside at all, while TaToH did that. And I think even at, you know, some points where it felt like MbL might have been slightly ahead, his eco might not have been as efficient. And it was also harder for MbL to find TaToH continuously because TaToH was so far away. So, GG. 32k resources brought in there from TaToH. Obviously, he had a big Vil lead for a while. 23k res there from MbL. Fights were reasonable. TaToH obviously ahead there. And we'll move on. But, I mean, same thing for MbL as we said after game one. Has the skill to tie it up. And I'm hoping he does. And gives us a competitive series here. All right, so, guys, this map is all about, can you get a good wall generation here? There are times where you just don't get it. Specifically with the golds. But more often than not, you've got these little nuggets of wood. And you can wall between them because you are far away from your opponent. And because it's pretty easy terrain to wall up. So, I think TaToH has maybe picked the Ethiopians, which is a bit of a rare pick at this level. Because he knows he can get those walls down. And there's a lot of fun things you can do with the Ethiopians then. I think Archers is kind of the obvious play. Archer Pikemen. Especially up against the Hindustanis. But the Hindustanis do have the Gulam. And that Ethiopians pick alone might make MbL think, if I have a safe stone, I could maybe get to Gulams. Gulams are great against Pikes and Archers. But MbL's map, I would say, is worse than TaToH's because he doesn't have woodlines on the front. And so I played in a tournament called Return of Reverse Pick. It was a much smaller tournament than this, right? So they're not really like putting, I don't think they're paying people for maps or like putting as much focus onto the maps. But that was my thinking at that time. I remember being a little frustrated because there were some inconsistencies with how wallable this map can be. So I am feeling a little bit for MbL right now, just looking at the map, that like he can't have the same wall potential. Relic's not really a big deal. TaToH, I mean, it could be a big deal, but that's not something you're going to fret over map-wise. I think it's just kind of the wood line. But TaToH's going to click up here. A full wall would take pretty big investment. That's what Viper did when he played against Nikov. And TaToH will get plus 100 food and plus 100 gold when he gets to the next stage. I do feel as though there's an argument that you just go scouts here for TaToH. Scouts are good, like a solid opening to get some map control, and it's way faster to give you any type of potential damage than archers. Oh, and by the way, there's a lot of like low land down here where players will want to take gold. That's where most of the golden stone is on this map. So yeah, I think MbL's brain is kind of where I was, which, you know, MbL and I thinking the same way. There are days where I think that's amazing for me. There are days where I think that's not. But his reasoning is pretty sound here. He's expecting the Ethiopian player to wall up. He's expecting the heavy crossbow play. And so he figures that he should just go fast castle then. I don't hate it. if TaToH goes for scouts and MbL's fully walled, scouts could be seen as a bit of a waste, right? The one thing TaToH will struggle to take up on his hill would be stone. And that's something that will be easier for MbL. Yeah, MbL's going to try fast castle Ghoulems because he sees Ethiopians and because he thinks he's going to be up against crossbows. This is why I speak my mind. There are times where the players just don't do anything I've said. This one felt a little bit more obvious here, so. The thing is, TaToH hasn't scouted his opponent at all, right? And so he doesn't know what MbL's doing. And MbL's going to be fully walled. Like, Ethiopian stable units are not that great long-term. I think MbL's position is going to be fine, man. Like, the scouts aren't going to do much. Maybe they could harass the walls a little bit, but... Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, that's so smart from him to check, dude. A lot of players wouldn't actually check there. They would just assume. But MbL's experience with his walls. And he clicked behind. The villagers started moving into the darkness, and he now... Yeah, he's gonna... Oh, wow, he actually... Ooh, has some leftover deer here as well. The gate's open. That gate is open right now by that villager. I wish there was an easy way for me to check. I heard the noise, though. And the villager hasn't moved. MbL doesn't have loom. TaToH! TaToH, shh! TaToH, come! Maybe it just opened temporarily? Does the image say open when you click it? I know it says locked and unlocked. That, I heard the open noise. I don't think it says open. Wait. Does the image at the bottom left show it open if it's open and closed if it's closed? Is that what you guys are saying? There's no way. No, it doesn't. See, it was definitely open before. We could tell now that it's closed that it looks different. Wow, thrilling stuff here, guys. Are you really enjoying this open versus closed commentary? Top tier stuff. I don't know if I've ever had a better cast. All right, so TaToH's going to wall up. TaToH doesn't have the luxury of knowing that MbL is on stone. I wonder if it makes sense for MbL to delay the castle, though. And maybe just, like, go for the second town center first. This is a really heavy boom map. And, like, Ghoulems are only needed when you see archers. Otherwise, they'll still die to even Ethiopian knights. And, you know, Hindustanis have cheap vills. I think this game usually goes late. I wouldn't mind to see MbL pull, like, 3 vills off of stone and go to wood. I think that'll help his economy quite a bit here. If MbL sees a good castle position towards a gold, maybe he goes for it. Okay. God, you see the pathing there? What? He's clicking them. Guys, wait. Yeah, he's clicking them to the same spot, and villagers are just going different directions. Oh my God! That's so bad. It's definitely not MbL doing that, by the way. I saw a clip of John Slow trying to castle drop the other day. He clicked 10 vills out of his walls, and like 8 of them just went zoop, just the other way. The difference is John Slow, he only performs like 3 actions a minute. So it took him a while to realize, and then he complained about it, and then there was a clip, and, you know, MbL actually noticed, so. By the way, I'm only harsh because I know John Slow is watching right now. MbL, you gotta get loom, bro. You gotta get loom. Don't tell me. Tell me loom's in queue. Okay, loom is in queue. I think he's okay. I think he's okay. Losing some vills here would be painful. But he's definitely thinking boom, by the way. It's not Ghoulems. At least it's not Ghoulems yet. More scouts on the way from TaToH. MbL's loom upgrade is 20 seconds off. And TaToH should understand that's going to take a minute. And MbL tries to get some quick walls down. And TaToH's got a nice little gap here to work with. He's definitely killing 1 vill. He might kill 2. He kills the scout. A little sloppy here from MbL. But great job from TaToH to punish, I have to say. He's going to bring the pike as well. and blocking and harassing and distracting. And the pikeman alone should be enough to kill that Vil, but quick walls could happen against a pike. Quick wall. Oh! Oh no! Woo woo woo! No! No! Oh, the wolf distracts and kills MbL. And TaToH is coming for more blood, but the TC will complete. Wolves are now going to attack TaToH. He's not going to complain about that. These pikemen have the tools to fight back. It just feels like, you know, I would consider that avoidable damage, you know? Just, I get the idea there from MbL. I get he wanted to turn this into the eco play, but to lose 3 Vils there kind of hurts. TaToH's been untouched. TaToH also scouted a lot of the map here. So he's aware of the relic in the corner. He's aware of all the relics. Well, sorry, what am I talking about? Not all the relics, but a majority of the relics, and could start to snag them. And MbL has no map control. So he doesn't have scouts. He doesn't have any way to really compete for the map right now. So, like, what I would have preferred for MbL is you just boom on your hill. Like, you have more than enough gold here. You have more than enough stone. Both stone piles here. I think, if anything, building the TC down here, it gives your opponent a chance to push you. No one is going to push up a hill at this stage. So I would have preferred, obviously easy to say now because he's lost Vils, but I would have preferred to just see you build the TCs here. And then you could build your castle, and then you can use golems for map control, and then you can kind of adapt from there. But what a great job from TaToH to scout the map and realize that. That's sick. Like, he also immediately queued up more scouts upon seeing it. He didn't hesitate, and he did a great job to block MbL from walling. MbL's a great quick waller. So let's not just act as though that's something that should have happened. Guys, what do Ethiopians make in this matchup? Also, this is fun. MbL has hidden the fact he's building this castle. And TaToH thinks that he could push now. If this castle was more on the front, TaToH would never consider this. This could be a wasted investment. Okay, castle goes up. Kills 1 pikeman. And now TaToH says, yeah, never mind. I was wondering how many people would say Showtells. I respect you guys so much for that. Showtells might actually be the play. Every time I see a Showtell, I feel like it's too expensive for what it does. And it would be rather poor, I think, up against the Hindustani gunpowder. But if you could, like, make some Showtells, they have high attack. Maybe Showtells and then you go Arbalest. I think Arbalest Skirm is still, like, your best unit, but that's scary if your opponent has Golems out in the field. So my thing would be, you don't rely on Showtells fully. If you rely on Showtells fully, that would be a mistake. But mixing in Showtells could be really helpful here. How do Golems do versus Showtells? Well, Golems are a Pierce Armor unit. They don't have much melee armor at all, so Showtells should completely shred them. Both units have very low HP. Showtells just have much higher attack. The pass-through damage for the Golems could be rather helpful in groups, though, so maybe that would play a role. TaToH's definitely planning on a castle, but I don't foresee TaToH wanting to take any risks with the castle. I think he wants to protect himself at the top of the hill here, and MbL distracted! And TaToH gets 1 conversion. Nice job from him. MbL bringing siege forward. Look at the vision that the outposts from the Ethiopians bring here, by the way. Really nice vision to know this was coming. And MbL is going to try a little push at the top of TaToH's hill. TaToH might need to build that castle soon. If you see MbL, of all people, coming to your base... Ooh, super close situation here. MbL's repaired the mangonel enough. Yeah, if MbL's on the way to your base with siege, I think you've definitely got to go for a defensive castle here. Look at all the focus that TaToH's been able to take away from MbL here. And then here MbL could lose another Gulum, so he deletes it, and that knight's able to back away. And MbL's going to drop some monasteries here. MbL's definitely back in that, like, this is turned chaotic, let's just go with the flow type of feel, right? Game plan's out the window. He did have to formulate a game plan based on what he thought TaToH was going to do. 4 relics for TaToH. Limited gold control towards the middle, though. That will be something he needs. Like, I would have bought the stone and dropped the castle 2 minutes ago because I wouldn't be able to defend from this. TaToH's able to defend from this. Sorry for, like, earthquaking you. And just hold from it for so much longer. It allows him to really take his time with his economy here. And TaToH does see the monasteries, so knights shouldn't be as strong for him now. MbL's eco really isn't his focus right now, is it? You don't need much on food to produce vills, but like his farming eco is... Well, he's got 12 farms. TaToH's got 30 right now. Like, Kev looking for monks, and of course distracting MbL. MbL going for another siege workshop. TaToH, you're stressing me out, dude. This is stressing me out. 60%. MbL comes forward with the siege. That is just perfect timing for TaToH, honestly. That is like way too fine-tuned for normal players, guys. Okay? Don't learn anything from what TaToH just did. I'm telling you, you're not going to get the timing right. Oh, maybe you will. I don't know. Who am I to underestimate you? MbL trying his best with the monks, siege and the ghouls. TaToH snipes one monk. TaToH snipes two monks. Again, just crazy what TaToH is able to do and how he's able to control his units behind some eco. And it is Shotel, Hotel, Holiday Inn coming up, folks. We've got high attack Shotel warriors. I think if you clear this, you are free to expand to the middle of the map. Dave screams, add farms in my chat, and MbL says, bro, you taught me this. Add farms. Dave, what do you say when people tell you to add farms? You say, we don't need that. We've got the market. He sells 1,000 wood, and he buys the food so he can get up to imp here. Honestly, at this stage, I think he really needs a good position. He's going to go for a castle? Okay. He's building a castle with 2 vills. Sorry, 4 vills. That's double what I said. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This is no bueno. This is bad. Hey, guys, this is why you only send 4 vills. If you send 15 vills, you lose the game right now. If you send 4 vills, you lose the game later. Maybe not. I don't know. He really doesn't have many advantages right now, MbL. The villagers are cheap, guys. Any other civ, this is a problem. Hindustani vills are cheap. They're throwaway. No one cares. TaToH's going to escape now. Or he has escaped already. He's on this gold. So yeah, what I was thinking is like, the Shotels are really good for this time in the game. This is a masterclass from TaToH. MbL just assumed archers, so he thought he'd be next level and go ghouls, and the ghouls have really not been the choice at all. Castle for MbL should go up. And nice house walls there from him. First thing MbL needs to click, though, would be chemistry here. He will be an imp much faster than TaToH. And he does have more gold in the middle right now. He does also have a unique tech. That'll give him the faster gold collection. But it's really food that he needs. But now that the game is more relaxed, he's starting to add some eco. And Shotels and Siege and Monks moving around for TaToH. By the way, viewers, is the Monk pointer mod a problem for you? I actually think it's helpful while casting. Because in big groups, you could see the Monks. I use it while playing. I usually toggle these things off. Let me know if it's a little too much for you. Maybe we can turn it off at some point, but if I could have like a smaller monk pointer mod for casting, I think I might use it. Okay, it's good. It's good. People like it. Okay, cool. All right, nice. There wasn't one person who said it was a problem. That's rare. You guys are big fans of monk pointer mod. MbL is doing the right thing here. He's behind by maybe 5 or 6 villagers. He's still kept his ghouls alive. He's gone for chemistry. That'll be in 30 seconds. And TaToH's making a lot of Shotels. What I was thinking was maybe the Shotels are good for a time, but Eventually, you might need to switch into something else. Oh my god, that micro from TaToH's dirty. How does he notice that? And is MbL paying attention? MbL's distracted. Wow. To do that against MbL, I mean, we all know MbL as being so good in the Mega L Wars, but MbL's just distracted, starting to make hand cannons. I don't know. I think MbL's got a solid window here. TaToH's going for a lot of show tells. These things are glass cannons. They will kill everything fast, but they will die very fast as well. Their HP is really low. But MbL, I think, is just too distracted today, right? Or not today, sorry, right now. There's just too many things going on. TaToH can see, with that outpost, he could see that castle. Look at the vision for MbL. He's got so little vision compared to TaToH. But he does see those show tells. You know how growing up, your parents told you not to run with scissors? These show tell warriors, they don't listen to their parents. You trip and you fall, and you are just... Especially with 45 HP, you're done, man. Did anyone ever know of anyone who, like, ran with scissors growing up? Was that, like, a big thing in previous generations? Why was that such a big thing I was told by teachers and family? I'd never heard a story of a single person running with scissors. I don't know. Not important. Trebs on the right for MbL. Trebs will come from TaToH. And MbL's going to still have hand cannons everywhere. Like, that hand cannon count is climbing. I know it's not crazy yet. I'm not ready to give up on MbL. Unless he just can't take gold anymore. I've just realized that MbL does not have gold income. This was his gold TC. He can't take gold. Here he's dropping a new TC for more gold. Here he's doing the same. But lack of gold's a problem when his Treb just got sniped by Showtel warriors here. That means saying the line works. Yeah, that's true. Someone just said my kid does when I asked about running with scissors. That's not great. Arbalest now for TaToH. And guys, this is kind of this was always the danger. Ethiopian archers. That's what MbL was scared of at the start of this game. And he's finally going to be up against it when he's going to be stuck primarily on hand cannons. And Ethiopian archers are just so good. And they're going to have upgrades too for TaToH. TaToH's still getting value from some leftover monks that just got relics as well. He's brought in 2,000 gold. And yeah, MbL just calls it. This was just all TaToH here. And I think that MbL was stuck in the mindset that TaToH was going to go crossbow. He went for the Ghoulems. I can understand that. But I think combined with that, MbL got caught out by TaToH using the scouts for map control, losing those vills. And TaToH just completely outboomed him. I mean, this game was pretty smooth for TaToH the whole way through. His economy was ridiculous here. There has been a difference between how these two have macroed in this series, I'd say. And he got 4 of the 5 relics. Would have probably ended up getting the 5th. And MbL, I think he felt behind, which is why he made it awkward and tried to push the middle. But now TaToH's up 3-1. And MbL has to find 3 straight wins to move into the semifinals. Otherwise, TaToH, perhaps expectedly, will move into the semifinals because of how good he is in so many different settings, so many different maps. Loved how TaToH played that one. It was such a fun mind game, man. Because it's very rare that I talk about the strategy right away. The first thing I talked about was walling up, going fast castle, and crossbows from Ethiopians. And so MbL walled up, went fast castle, and thought about Ghoulems to counter the archers. And we didn't really see the archers get involved yet. They were never really a factor up until this point. Crazy stuff from TaToH. All right. Give me a number, folks. How many spears and skirms are we going to see in this game? It is a mirror matchup. Byzantines. And we have MbL involved, who made 20 spearmen with Gurjaras in the very first game of this tournament. No waiting around for this guess, okay? Give me a number. We'll add it up at the end if Capture Age lets us do so. The amount of spears and skirms in this game. I'm currently thinking. I'm currently thinking on this. I think I'm going to go with 26. 26. Now, this is a tough one because we don't know how long the game's going to go. If the game goes on long, it could be in the hundreds. I'm going to go with 26 because I don't think the skirms will be as big a role on this map because usually you see lots of scouts and maybe lots of spears. Now, with this spiral generation, they have spawned very close to the water. And TaToH here finds himself 3-1 up. It's going to build a dock with 2 vills. That's fairly standard. TaToH also wandered up to the berries. Got the cow and got the sheep from there. This is close enough where I think it's worth building a mill on it. Some generations, I don't think it's worth the risk. And actually, if that's the case, we might see a lot more spears and skirms because it could get messy there. My guess was definitely on the low side. I kind of baited you guys. A lot of people went high. The more I thought about it, felt like the way this map typically plays out, we don't see a ton of spears and skirms, so I don't know. It's MbL and he's down, so he might want to do something aggressive. MbL also came over here to take the cow and the sheep. And wow, I didn't actually see that boar. MbL is going to bring that in. Derlino asks, can you fit a mill inside the berries? You can fit a mill inside the berries, but that is a trap because villagers will get stuck. So the best thing for you to do, in my opinion, is build the mill like on the side of it. We did a community tournament, which actually segues me into the fact that signups for the next, well, it's actually technically the first official T90 community tournament, whereas before it was a Hidden Cup community tournament. Signups are open for that. Type !TCC. It doesn't matter if you're the biggest noob or if you're a pro, you can sign up. You just have to be like a $1, at least a $1 Patreon supporter of the channel. And we have like 100 signups already. Anyways, in our one of our tournaments, I think we had Spiral. Or it was some low elo Spiral cast. I forget. And someone built the mill in here and all the vills were stuck. And I got very, very stressed. So just saying. People have tried it. It's not a wild thought to say, why can you fit a mill in there? It's just an actual practice is great. So, all right. Also, we have a tournament trailer for that made by a viewer. It's, you know, not the most official trailer ever, but it suits the tournament perfectly. I will play that in between sets. If you want to hear more about it, you can ask. Right now, MbL coming forward. He wants a dock here on TaToH's water, and TaToH says, no! You shall not. But MbL's scout still has full HP, and it's about to be feudal age. So I actually think I prefer MbL's position right now. Scout HP is king here. And TaToH knows that. Yeah, MbL's in feudal. TaToH's scout has to run away. TaToH's going to lose a vill here. Unless he can go for some crazy quick walls, he's going to lose maybe both of them. Scout goes down. Scout goes down. And MbL is now winning the battle. And TaToH... yeah, well, she's dead. MbL goes for the next one. And... oh, that's a dream start for MbL. Oh, my God. He goes double dock. Double dock. He kills 2 vills, and he's going to build 2 docks. Dang. MbL with the double Ds. Let's go. All right, so we've got MbL at home, remember, and his fish are safe. He's also adding a fire galley, so he's thinking that maybe TaToH is going to sneak a dock over here himself. Good opening for MbL. And this is the right idea. Playing into water control when you've got the faster firing fires with the Byzantines. Only it's not faster because they're both Byzantines, I guess, but I like it. And now you have your scout. Like, this is such a massive advantage for MbL. He will always know what TaToH's going to do. He has an economy lead, and he's in a position to threaten TaToH's economy. So I think the double docks is a little extreme. Oh my God, MbL. Oh my God, MbL. Guys, rewind. MbL blocked the mill foundation. TaToH goes to click the mill foundation to delete it because MbL's being a nerd, and he misclicks and deletes his own villager. Absolute carnage for TaToH so far. Oh, that's so funny. Well, the pros make mistakes too. MbL will have noticed that as well. I'm sure he was laughing. And now he's got an opportunity to kill TaToH's fish. And now he knows TaToH is here. I mean, MbL saw this and built a barracks and queued up 4 spears. He is going to rush this bad boy down as quickly as possible. I mean, apart from, I don't know, everything dying all the time, TaToH's done a pretty good job. He's controlled what he can control, but this is just... It's even worse in a mirror matchup when you fall this far behind early, because it's not like you're thinking in late game, my civ is better, or I could switch into this unit or that unit. It's just you both have the same options. And so it should be, with more workers available, should be advantage MbL. TaToH actually kills the scout. And MbL is going to come over here to the berries. TaToH using a spear to kill all the deer. It's actually really good. It's really smart. And that might have been why MbL started to return the favor here. TaToH has been out here for a bit longer than MbL. Also, MbL's archer range and barracks location very random, I have to say. But that fire galley is perfectly positioned. And TaToH doesn't seem to notice that. This is just not a great spot for TaToH to be in. MbL will have to ensure that he will add in farms. Has to ensure that he defends. Actually, I think the range position makes a lot of sense because he's just expecting to have to defend this area, so. Someone who bet on TaToH for this with our salmon points on the channel says, I have a feeling the Salmon Mafia rigged this one. Yeah, the Salmon Mafia. I'm surprised no one's talked about that yet. They've been growing in power. They have been rigging some results. Don't worry, I'm having the FBI look into it for us, all right? The skirm just chases away the archers, and TaToH says, well, we're not booming this game because we're behind right now, so let's use the market and let's try and click up. And honestly, he farmed before MbL. He had berries, he had deer before MbL. He had a little bit of land army before MbL. And, I mean, now it's going to be a problem. But if he can get to Castle H faster, maybe there's something he can do with that. Salmon Mafia broke my kneecaps and told me not to snitch, says Ara. Oof. Well, at least he didn't break your wrists, right? You can still type in Twitch chat. I think that's pretty reasonable, right? No, I'm just kidding, guys. Not only do our channel points have no rewards, but there's also no Mafia, okay? Guaranteed. Definitely not. Definitely not. Oh, God, this is even worse. Like, the fact that these fires can now range your gold is so annoying. Oh, man. A forgettable game for TaToH. And it's like, there's not much you can really do to reverse the circumstances. You know, what's happened has happened. And you've got to do your best, I think, with Castle Age. And you got to go for something extreme. Maybe a siege push. Or maybe a very greedy boom. You either go extremely aggressive and try and kill MbL early, which I think is probably the best play. Or you don't opt for aggression at all, and you hope that he doesn't kill you, and you can catch up somehow by adding more vills. Nice scout addition here from TaToH. He knew there were skirms out there from MbL. Guys, what did I say? 26 trash units? I think I was wrong. MbL's getting up to 18 here in a second. Yeah, I think I'm going to be off. MbL's definitely going to make a lot more. But TaToH's scout there, not able to run into the spears, and MbL even added galleys here. Actually, it could be really nice for MbL. I think the fires can range the market too. Over here, TaToH trying to defend himself from this awkward little army. TaToH really needs to do something with the next 60 seconds with this army and then the knight that's going to be running forward from the stable. MbL has just abandoned the berries. He understands that this is a risk. And he's actually going to go 2 stables. Guys, I'm getting kind of pumped for my trash prediction here. Because MbL has stopped making spears and skirms. And spears are going to go down to the TC. Little sloppy there, but at the end of the day, his focus needs to be on defending here. And I don't know if he builds this tower in another situation, but considering how ahead he feels he should be, he's happy to build that tower. Just so he doesn't die to this army. And then he runs over here for gold. Very messy eco for MbL. And TaToH's knights actually come here to clear up these skirms. And TaToH with 5 crossbows. Any math nerds out there want to help me out here? Actually, I think I can do it. Bodkin arrows, what? 200 food, 100 gold. Crossbows, 175 food, and 125 gold. So that's 375 food. And why am I 225 gold to upgrade 6 units because he has a 6 crossbow on the way. Sorry, I had to use my fingers when I do math. I still haven't progressed past that point. It took me a second. A lot of camels. Camels are really cheap with the Byzantines. Camels, spoilers. I'm so sorry. This is speeding up because of the Salmon Mafia. No, MbL is just so far ahead. And, sorry, there was a spec delay and the game ends. Wait a second. I said 26 spears and skirms, correct? MbL created 22. And, TaToH, well, it doesn't count the spearmen. He created 3 skirms. That takes it up to 25. How many spears did TaToH have in this game? Tell me TaToH produced 1 spear. I remember he had 1 spear. Did he ever have more than that? Okay, 1 spear. Oh, he made a second one. TaToH. Oh, he made 27. All right, I was close. Great stuff, though. MbL, I mean, that's huge. That's huge. 3-1 doesn't feel so manageable. You get that win, and you're like, all right. Especially if MbL can give himself a fast start. It'd be really good for him. Let's keep things moving here, guys. All right. Northern Isles. It's about to get crazy. Here we go, guys. Vikings, Armenians. It's just saying, like, really feels like Game 7 could happen. Now, TaToH is known as the player who I'd normally favor when it comes to water maps. And I also think Armenians are the most OP water civilization in the game right now. I think they're very, very strong. There's a reason for most of sets in Hidden Cup, most sets in any tournament where there's water, that this civilization is banned. But Vikings have been around for so long, and MbL knows them, and MbL will play with them pretty comfortably here, I imagine. And if there's any civ that could maybe match them in terms of their strength, it could be the Vikings here. Now, the big reason I consider the Armenians to be strong, by the way, would be the eco. But that's a big reason the Vikings can be strong as well. But basically, the mule cart upgrades are more efficient with the Armenians, which is good because TaToH's got to reposition some vills here. And the mule cart does wood and gold. And when you do ships, you're going for eco based around wood and gold. So it's like your wood and gold eco is better than anyone else's wood and gold eco. And you're making ships that have crazy unique techs later on and are very strong. So, like, the demos and the galleons for Armenians are some of the best. Their eco some of the best. And that's why I feel as though the Armenians are favored here. Now, there's also the mule carts and how, it adds to efficiency and you can move them around. But that's even beside the point. Vikings, though, cheap docks, crazy strong, unique ship in the longboat, which I think is the go-to here in the long term for MbL. And wheelbarrow and handcart is free when you make to the respective ages. So I just think that it's just also a really good economic civ. Now, you start with the transport here. That's why MbL is sailing around. And this tells him that his opponent is unlikely to go aggressive, at least with water if the fish are on the back. Now, that's not always the case. You could use the logic of my fish are safe on the back. So why not go for forward docks and go pressure the opponent? But usually that takes a long time to get there. And so players will instead opt to go aggressive with land units instead. Which they wouldn't do if you didn't start with the transport. I think starting with the transport here always gives TaToH that option. He also went full circle and saw the dock on the back, so. Matification asking the important questions here. He says, can Dramans reach MbL's starting TC? Yes, but so can cannon galleons. Cannon Galleons can also reach TaToH starting TC. Guys, we're not going to see fast Imperial Age Dramens or Cannon Galleons. You need a little bit more economy for that. But TaToH, he's clicked up. MbL is clicked up. Is MbL going to use his transport at all? Where is that? Okay, so it's unlikely he... No way, dude. You've got to be kidding me. Does MbL... Was he paying attention there? Did he notice that? TaToH is trying to be sneaky. MbL just so happened to have his transport in the right corner and is coming back. MbL's not moving around like he saw that to me. He's going for a dock so he can pressure. I don't believe he noticed that. There was no reason for him to be following that transport ship there, but if he was paying attention, he would know. And TaToH might be a little uneasy about this. TaToH might be like, did he spot me? Because TaToH was looking, I'm sure. Okay, TaToH's going to go for a dock. Ooh, this is smart. This is really smart because this gives him an easy, very easy access to killing the fish from MbL. Now, MbL might, I think he just spotted that scout. So now he knows the TaToH is here, and immediately MbL must be worried. I swear, every time MbL's playing Vikings on a water map, he's being forwarded. This is, I think, the third time in a row. I remember Hidden Cup qualifier. I remember 2 Northern Isles games in a row now. And, like, he needs to scout alive. He needs to know what's coming. It's a flip of a coin, and MbL wins the coin flip. I say flip of a coin because they both were doing damage at the same time. Both players just kind of took the risk there. That's huge for MbL to know what's coming, but it might be a little too late to save his fish, honestly. He is currently thinking he can still save fish boom back here. He does not expect this strategy, which we have seen before in this tournament. So investing into the 4th fishing ship, likely to lose it. Good news for MbL. He's on the golds here. That gold's far away from any pressure that could come in. These golds suck later on, but that's only if these villagers do something more for TaToH. And TaToH, now that he doesn't have a scout, has to wall up. He's really concerned that there could be some pressure from MbL on land now. That'd be a very MbL thing to do, so... Yeah, MbL finds out the hard way, though, at its forward docks, and you just gotta sail away. Just sail away. Every time I say those words, I think of the... I think it's the Styx song. Sail away. But not the Styx version. I remember my brother burning me a CD with Cartman singing that song. It was that and a bunch of like comedy bits and Bud Light Presents Real Men's of Genius and The Jerky Boy, all these weird like super early 2000s early 2000s songs and comedy bits. I just, seriously, every time I say sail away, I just think of, I'm sailing, you know. It's great. You guys might not know what I'm talking about. You remember how cool it was to get a burn CD? You're like, whoa, what? We just made this? MbL needs to keep his fish alive, which he's currently doing. He's looped them right back to the front. And he needs to at least control water in some way. And, like, TaToH hasn't killed the fish yet. He might take out the dock. TaToH's fish could possibly go down to this. I mean, MbL is just kind of stuck to the game plan for now. And unfortunately for him, he wasn't able to kill the fishing ship. Nice job from TaToH. The villagers are still here, guys. MbL never made a barracks. TaToH never made a barracks. These villas are just hanging out. But pretty even game. Great for MbL that he's got galley mass. It looks like MbL should be able to kill this galley. It's so cool how MbL just immediately moved his fish. Sometimes players hesitate, but he didn't hesitate at all. Someone says, I know what a CD is, but would it be damaged if you burned it? Okay, found the person who never... Found the youngin' in chat. I mean, it could be a fortified church rush, guys. Imagine making a fortified church here. making a warrior priest, taking the relic. However, because you get a free relic from your fortified churches, I don't think you want to make your first fortified church on your opponent's island. Because if that eventually goes down, you've then just donated a relic. So you'd really have to be committed to that push then. That'd probably be a mistake. It's going to be probably 2 forward docks from TaToH. He's got 6 fires. And it's been a 4-3 KD, but no economy has been harmed in this video. MbL still hasn't clicked up, though. He's about to, though. And, like, I just think the wildest thing is that he hasn't come over here to look for these vills. I mean, he has a scout, too. Like, he's not even checking to see what they're doing. I guess maybe he's just forgotten about them? Huh. Galley's looping back to the fish. This is enough for MbL to kill these fish, finally. And TaToH will probably lose most of these fish before he has a chance to realize. He'll hear the attack signal. By then, he's going to be down... well, 1 fishing ship. Okay, I'm wrong. He reacted immediately there. That was a really good reaction time from TaToH. Didn't realize how weak that 1 galley was, though. I think it's fine for TaToH as long as he disrupts the fishing economy from MbL. And he's also sneakily adding fishing ships in the south as well. That's awesome. And, like, the second he gets War Galley, he's going to have a really good opportunity to kill MbL's galleys. The galleys for MbL are split up into 2 separate groups right now, which is somewhat manageable this second, but in 30 seconds, that won't be the case anymore. And the forward dock's a problem. The MbL is just going to get picked apart. There's going to be galleys everywhere. But, you know, I've seen people try this before. Nice snipes from MbL. He will actually know that TaToH's probably fishing down here now. And MbL does a really good job at keeping his galleys alive. And if you keep the galleys alive on this map, you could range everything. Here come the fires. Again, they'll be upgraded. So I think MbL will lose his fishing ships. Well, not necessarily. But he's going to get kind of trapped here. Ooh, man. MbL needs that. He needs the War Galley upgrade. He didn't get the War Galley upgrade. Maybe he feels like it's not worth it, but I think with 16 galleys, you should maybe go for War Galley here. He is getting bodkin. He wants to make longboats, which is probably why he's not doing it. Oh, man. Oh, man. MbL doesn't know the dock is here. There's another fire. There's more stuff coming in. TaToH's kind of all over him at the moment. Still, the galley mass has done a decent job. Actually, I kind of like not getting War Galley now. I like it a lot more if he spent the resources on eco upgrades instead. But he's making archers. Archers. He's got to go kill those vills, man. He lost a scout over here a moment ago. He has to go kill those vills. He should know that they're over there. But he's distracted and focused on all of this. Nice job from MbL, though. He's really done a good job with galleys. And now longboats. Guys, longboats are devastating on a water map. The biggest reason I consider them devastating, as TaToH's now running, is the fact that they melt buildings. You don't really think about it until there's 10 longboats on a dock or a TC or something, but they melt buildings so fast. Villagers escape. No way. No way, TaToH. The villagers escape. TaToH did make his fortified church at home, by the way, so he got the instant relic, and he also collected one. And he's now hoping to take this to Imp, where he can get his unique text and go for galleons, most likely. The vills are still around. Okay, I'm going to tell you what TaToH should try here. Well, maybe it's not realistic. I think it'd be hilarious if he can snag that relic with a monk and then send the monk home in the transport ship. Oh, that's an amazing demo from TaToH. And the church is going to go up. You can also garrison in the church, too. On the back, TaToH's thinking about some fish. Galleys are going back there to find that. Creative work from MbL. If TaToH doesn't notice, that's a fishing ship and a villager down. TaToH does notice. And he canceled the fishing ship. And he has a demo in this dock. MbL needs to be careful. This is TaToH we're talking about. This is TaToH we're talking about. It's TaToH. Friends, it's TaToH. And TaToH nails him. Oh my goodness, dude. You just know what's going to happen with this guy. He's so good at getting the timings. He thought about that 5 minutes ago. And finally, those galleys go down for MbL. Please clip that one. And TaToH now adds a Siege Workshop. Again, he could maybe snag this relic. We'll see if he has a chance to take it home. He will lose the fish. And he still has to deal with the mass of longboats, sorry. And he's going to have to deal with archers that MbL's bringing in. But MbL's desperate. He runs into the TC. He loses an archer or two to the TC fire. And, well, the counterattack probably... It probably won't amount to too much here for MbL. It was a good effort, though. I like what he's done here. And the tower here is also a good move. But TaToH's got really good control over an area that MbL's going to have to deal with. And look at MbL's food eco. He's got 2 on food. That's it. TaToH's got farms everywhere. And 3 fishing ships working somewhere. Or maybe not working. I don't really know. Oh, here they are. Okay. Just sometimes when this much aggression is coming in, it's really hard to focus on everything. I think what MbL needs right now is he needs a forward castle on TaToH's face. That is the only thing that wins in this game from here. And I think he's going to do it, guys. He knows. He will understand how bad this situation is. And how frequently do I have to say, if you're in a tough spot, you have to make life awkward for your opponent. There's no sense in trying to play standard anymore. You've got to make it interesting. And if you have map control here, I think you drop a castle here. But if TaToH has defensive siege, which he does not, TaToH could possibly deny that. Oh, man. Now, it's hard for TaToH to sense that, really. Like, on some level, you're expecting your opponent has to fight back against you, but you don't really know with what. Here, TaToH trying to hit the longboats. Can MbL, can he put enough villagers in a transport ship? Does he make another transport ship? Maybe I'm wrong. He's actually going for guard tower defense. I think if it's just tower defense, he really falls behind in this game. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What about longboat defense? Ooh, that's not something TaToH is ready for. It's really hard to hit attack rounds against ships like this. These ships are strong. They're fast. MbL? Done a good job. Siege. TaToH trying to convert the siege. Can't convert the siege. And suddenly this push is looking pretty awkward. Okay, you got to be careful, MbL. Don't get too close to the dock, though, against TaToH. TaToH's still going to be happy to hold this position. This aspect was just the setup play. The real killer blow, the way he wins this game, is going to be by holding this and then winning the game with water control. And TaToH adds a couple fires to protect the position. He hops out and hits MbL. Yeah, MbL, I think he feels like things have come a little undone for him here. It's becoming so tough for him to manage everything. There is this, though. The flag. Oh, no, the flag. I would love to see TaToH convert that. If you convert a transport ship that has enemy units inside, that's still enemy units inside the transport ship after you convert it. Normally, I would say if you ever convert someone's transport ship with units inside, you don't want to delete the transport, but you want to keep them hostage in the corner. I remember a game... it's actually going to happen. I remember a game where, like, someone got 4 transport ships converted in, like, 2014. And they were filled with 20 units each. And then the opponent put the transports in the corner, and he held 80 population from the opponent hostage. Like, the units just weren't... It was sick. He only was playing a 120 pop game then. But it's so rare that happens. And in this case, if you convert this transport, it's like 1 pop for 1 pop. So it's not really worth it. You can't delete your units in the transports? Nope. Isn't that crazy? I so wish we'd see that more frequently. I remember a game from Titans League where someone got their transports with units converted. And I was immediately screaming, like, don't delete it, you know. Don't delete it, which, of course, he did. Well, guys, TaToH 95 bills. And he's going to go water now. And to ensure he can go water, he's going to drop a transport here. Not a transport, sorry. I saw the transport. A castle here. Still has this position, right? Still just holding it. And with this castle going up, if it goes up, it looks like it will because MbL is going the other way. This means that TaToH can drop docks on the front, which he certainly has the wood for. Someone says, would you consider that a bug or a feature, T90? I don't think it's a bug. Because you can't delete units inside your own buildings either, right? You can't delete units when inside buildings. Or like, transports. Regardless. It also happens so infrequently that I would guess most of you guys didn't know that was a possibility. So, like, I really hope they never change that. It's such a rare thing. It'd be super cool to see. That's a feature. Yeah, that's a feature. Oh, God. Oh, God. MbL, please stay far away from the dock, my friend. He saw the dock with the flag, and he knows to run away this time. TaToH getting heavy demo. First thing. Heavy demo. He can't help himself. And there's Silesian Fleet. That's going to add some crazy blast radius to these demos. Not only researching heavy demo, but researching it with the forward docks, which is funny. But I think ultimately, I don't know if you need demos. I think just full galleon play and Dramens. I mean, you could do it all with this economy lead. You can do it all. And TaToH just made it messy this game. Like, Vikings are so good if it's straight galleys against other ships. But TaToH, he transported the vills and ended up doing a whole lot just because there's two villagers there. Like, it was the setup play for everything else. MbL does have a TC in the middle. He's building a castle in the middle. I actually love the castle spot. If you build a castle here, which so many people do, it just gets trebbed down from the other shoreline. This castle is perfect. And if there's a unit that can win this game for him, it would be the longboats. Man, TaToH again. Big mega no shots. How many times has he out-microed MbL with Siege this game? We're not allowed MbL to use his Siege micro. Like, MbL's the best at that, in my opinion. TaToH has looked sick. I think you will make... Players will make Dramens when they have a reason to make Dramens. Making random Dramens in the back doesn't make sense because you don't have anything to protect it, really. And now that TaToH sees his opponent has a castle, now we see a Dramen. So perfect timing here from TaToH, I'd say. The only thing is, he is pop capped right now. So he's going to drop houses. He's going to drop another castle. Does need to queue up Galleon. And demos are somewhat of a risk, I would say. Somewhat, because demos have to get in and hit these longboats that are going to have upgrades and could potentially kill all the demos from range. The thing is, if Armenian demos hit you, you're dead. Half your fleet is gone. Especially when longboats actually clump up onto the same tile. So it's much easier to kill a group of longboats if they're clumped up like that. TaToH actually might raid with warrior priests here. Yeah, he is. Getting infantry upgrades for these guys. Let's go. That is just another thing for poor MbL to be harassed by right now. It's just another thing he has to worry about. And the upgrades are going to get even better as well. There's the first Dramen. No chemistry for TaToH yet. No war galley for TaToH yet. He doesn't really have many war galleys either. Might be too focused on... Well, he's not too focused. He's doing a lot, but... Obviously, sometimes you do a little bit too much here. You could forget about the main push. Chemistry needs to come in. War galley needs... not war galley, sorry. Galleon needs to come in. And there's Galleon. So in theory, like... MbL maybe had a little bit of a window here. But his castles are going to start to get drummed down. And I think if MbL has a window of opportunity, it is the slightest crack in the window. He has to be a mosquito that weasels its way through that tiny little opening to get through. There is no way that window of opportunity is going to be large enough for more than one tiny little chance. And TaToH's just waiting for demos. He's got demos over here too. And he's probably going to prep demos in these docks. And here we go. So like we said, I'm not expecting the demos to get hits right away. Oh, actually, it was a close opportunity. But do you even need the demos here? No chemistry on the Galleons is a problem. Surprised that TaToH doesn't notice that, because you should be able to see that. But TaToH is pushing the middle. Remember, TaToH has the relics. TaToH also has... Oh, man. Dramons. The pathing seems really awkward for TaToH right now. Dramons are going down. TaToH has the relics, and TaToH has more villagers. And TaToH still has the monastery to raid. And there's chemistry from TaToH. It is elite longboat for MbL. So I think elite longboat will shred until until TaToH gets chemistry. If MbL gets to 80 longboats, I know that seems crazy, but it's realistic based on how he doesn't have many vills. There's a chance here, guys. TaToH needs a big demo. MbL still mining some gold in the middle. Demos go in! They've weakened some ships, but they didn't kill any ships yet. As exciting as the demo is... Oh, no! I was just going to say how demos are bad sometimes. I'd take it back. My statement, though, was going to be as exciting as the demos are. It's still risky. Because if you don't get value from them, it's just a waste of resources. But I think that was enough value. And Armenian demos... Again, I think Armenians need fine-tuned on water. I said this before. I think maybe their eco's too strong for what what their navy is. Maybe, though, as MbL is getting Bogsfagard, that's actually going to add extra attack to his longboats. Maybe, like, you can't nerf their eco because they struggle on other maps. I don't know. But right now, as is, I feel like there's a reason everyone's banning Armenians when there's water maps. And we called it out during the draft as well that this would be the civ that TaToH would probably pick. Oh, God. Oh, God. MbL is completely surrounded and he's fighting for his tournament life. Oh, no. There's no getting away. Choose your way of death, MbL. And he chooses demo. He has no choice, actually. TaToH gets to decide. TaToH comes in from both sides. A beautiful engagement. And TaToH's going to move on to the semifinals. MbL drops the GG and the good luck next. And honestly, what a series. It was a great series here. And I think, like, you know, MbL was able to find some wins today. But really, it did feel somewhat inevitable come game 3 for me. Looking at some of the maps and just the history of these two players and how good TaToH is on mixed maps. There was never any question on TaToH's civilization choices. I think in his losses, with the exception of the one game, he always put up big fights. And MbL, a worthy opponent. MbL, good result to get back into the top 8. But I think MbL isn't quite as complete as TaToH is as a player. And that's what we saw here today. A good 4-2 win there. I also don't think MbL should be too disappointed in himself. I think if you were to ask him, he might look back to his draft and wonder if Hindustanis and Gurjaras so early in the draft made sense. But overall, I thought his performance was pretty good. It was TaToH, though, who was able to out-chaos MbL today. The Alpine game, super chaotic, benefited TaToH. This game was a chaotic game, benefited TaToH. And normally that's not the storyline. Normally, it's players who don't want the chaos who are defending from the MbL chaos throughout the whole game. But yeah, 57k resources collected there from TaToH. We knew it was coming because of that excellent economy there from him, and he moves on to the semifinals. TaToH can win this whole tournament, guys. He's definitely one of the favorites.